right, and he went out and he's a bit more comfortable. It's always about getting comfortable out there, and sometimes it's just the shots you're left. Sometimes you can have ones you like and easy ones, and other times you have half difficult shots, miss those, and then it just turns round a bit, you know.
You've seen him at the mid-session interval. What did you say to him?
Not a lot. He's very comfortable. He feels very comfortable out there playing. He's not too calm and he's not too excited. He's in a good place out there, so there's not much to say really, apart from to carry on and do the same things all the time. Because at the moment, when he goes out there, it seems to me that when he gets the chance, he's going to make breaks.
And what do you say to those people who woke up this morning and said this is all about Ronnie Sullivan, this is his final?
Well, it is his final, but it's also Barry Hawkins' final, very much so. And I'm sure Ronnie doesn't think that. He's got respect for Barry. And Barry, in the last few matches, hasn't started well, gone behind all the time. But I say, like, stay in the long grass, like he did in the first 2 rounds, and then pounce on him at the end, because that's what he done against Selby and Ding, and against Ricky Walden. So, I mean, he's holding on there. Ronnie's playing very well, but there's 2 players out there, and if Ronnie does underestimate it, he may pay for that.
Terry Griffiths, the Miracle Man. Thank you very much.
Yes, wise words indeed from Terry Griffiths, 1979, of course, world champion here. A wise owl, Willie, man you played many, many times, but coaching Barry Hawkins now, of course, and all the players down in the Southwest Snooker Academy. There's no doubt he's certainly helped this man in his game over the last 18 months or so. Trying to get the outside edge of that red. No real danger, of course. Really just coming around to have a look. Is there a possible shot to nothing on? No, nothing on. So back to its original position.
Is that right?
It's quite a tough shot, this, Willie, because he's got to, as you said, he's got to almost take the paint off this red here.
I think so. Can you just put it up?
Yes, he'll risk it once more, won't he? He'll risk the thin cut again, and then he'll be warned should he not hit it. So he'll have one more try at this, and then play an alternative. That's where it was. That's where it is now.
Yeah. Happy?
Pretty good.
Just having a look. There's a couple of reds that could, one of them could go close to the pocket, so that's why he's taking an alternative safety shot here. That's an excellent return. And that's one of the great things about Ronnie O'Sullivan's safety game. Purposely wanted to keep the cue ball down behind the green on the right hand side of the table. Because of the red that's close to the right hand side cushion, it's a little bit more difficult to get it back to safety here. If you leave the cue ball down the left hand side of the table, there's a straight path back, but this makes it a little bit more awkward. Yes, played it well.
Yes, the red that's behind the black is in the way to play the thin cut into the corner. He'd play it if it wasn't. So he's only playing a safety shot here. It's a perfect angle if that red wasn't there, just to pot it and go around the back of the black, but he can't play it, so he may just have to play what Barry did on his previous shot, a very thin one. This is bringing the black into play, so whoever pots the next red, you'd say would get a sizable lead in this frame where the balls are now. Well, Barry's won that safety battle and won it well, because he put Ronnie in trouble on 3 occasions, and on the 3rd occasion he played a poor safety. Now pink and black in play. Barry would be disappointed if he doesn't get at least 40 from here. Whether he goes on to make a frame winning break, we'll know in about 7 or 8 minutes. These couldn't be any better, Ken, could they?
Yeah. Nicely placed, and doesn't have to worry about going into any reds for the foreseeable future. Wants to get this black open into both corner pockets. Putting this red now will do that.
8. 9.
Yeah, I think if he can put the black, just disturb that red that I have a little circle around, because if he nudges into that red, he's got the red just to the left of that is open back into the corner pocket. He can just play a little stun shot into that red if he feels it's the right shot. Well, didn't go for it on that occasion, and that may tell us that that red may be a little bit awkward, the one just to the left of it, but this one on the pink
16.
certainly pots.
17.
You couldn't believe this was the same player that was playing in the first 2 sessions of the semi-final. He looked almost frightened to play. Looked anxious when he got in the balls. He missed probably 30 or 40 balls that I'm sure all the snooker players in the audience would have thought, well, I could pot those, but he's
22.
Certainly a different player now. Looks in total control of his emotions. And make no mistake, the way Ronnie's played, he knows he's going to have it all to do. But let's not forget, Ronnie was a pro player 2 years ago, and he wasn't winning every tournament. We know he's the best player when he's playing well, but he, like every player, he's vulnerable. He's beatable. But whether it'll be in this match or not, we'll know by tomorrow evening.
Yeah, I
28.
suppose what Barry has to do is just worry about himself and his own game, not really worry about who's in the other chair. Because once you're sitting in that chair, there's nothing you can do when you're at the table, and that's the most important thing to understand.
29.
The one thing he does very well, he
30.
takes what's on, always looking, mops up the easy ones, gathers up a good lead.
$35.
He's running out of reds now, though, Ken, and I agree with you when you talked about that little stun on that red. If he'd have played ball, that's what he's playing. So getting rid of this one now opens another red into the corner, so that's a pretty good shot.
40. 41.
I'm sure that red, just to the left of the black that's in the little pyramid, goes into this bottom left-hand corner pocket. There's a nice cannon on these reds here. That looks perfect.
$48.
Just wondering whether when he runs he missed the kiss on the red that's on the cushion. That's what he needs to miss. He may be screwing it in, so he's going across the face of the black, which could put the cue ball near the pink, which make things awkward. He's played it nicely. Didn't want to be hampered by the pink.
49.
Just needed to get hold of that cue ball enough to just slide it past the pink there to save him queuing over the pink. This now an excellent chance to level the match for the first time since the fourth frame.
56.
There you see, 52 ahead. We're still going to need a few more reds and colours yet, but the way the balls are positioned, you have to say he's going to win the frame
57.
here. This is extremely impressive stuff from Barry Hawkins. Looks very composed, got a nice pace around the table. Controlling the cue ball very well.
63.
I think he's actually playing better now than when he beat Ding and Mark Selby, Ken, isn't he?
Well, there's no doubt, you know, beating the world #1 Mark Selby and then of course beating Ding would have
64.
given him great confidence. And I think maybe the occasion of the semi-final, playing Ricky Wall and knowing what was at stake, getting into the final, playing Ronnie O'Sullivan, there was a lot of pressure on both players, and there's no doubt it got to them a little bit, but once they settled down into that match, he
69.
played his best snooker. He's continuing on with that now.
Got to be a little careful here. He still needs the red. Yes, I just wondered if he might sneak himself there, but played it nicely. Just had to drift by those two reds, and he's got an angle on the black to get onto the one just below the pink in the same pocket. Just screw through the gap.
'77. 78.
After the net.
84.
Well,
85.
people were talking about the fact that Ronnie O'Sullivan could outscore Barry, the fact that he'd been playing so well, but this next little caption we're going to show you after this black just shows you how well he's competing with Ronnie, not only on the frame scores, but there he is, he's only 1 point behind, so he's scoring exactly
92.
the same strength as Ronnie, and Ronnie's had 2 centuries.
93.
So the points now are identical, but the key thing is Barry Hawkins is levelling the match. And what an amazing stat that is as well. When this ball is potted, they've potted exactly the same amount of balls. What a fantastic break. It's 5th century of the tournament.
100.
And it's a milestone really, because it's the 50th century of the tournament as well.
101. 106. 108. 111. 115. 120. 126.
Wait for the noise when this black goes in.
Excellent break of 135 from Barry Hawkins. He levels the match. It's now 7 frames each.
And not only is that the 50th century of this year's championship, it's
He's going to play so good you hardly see a ball. So when he's not doing it,
shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Particularly when you're bridging over that middle pocket. Difficult hitting down on the cue ball, of course, as well. Perfect side of the blue now.
Six. Thanks. Thanks. Seven.
Stephen Hendry in the studio just mentioned that Ronnie always looks a little bit out of sorts sitting in the chair, and he could more than likely come on and make a century.
14.
Well, I wonder how true those words could be in a few moments, because these balls are perfect.
15.
And it's a very important time in the match, this. He doesn't want to go behind for the second time. He was behind at 3-2. He's been in front ever since.
22. $23.
Yeah, getting the awkward red out straight away. One close to the back cushion. Just frees up the black, particularly the cue ball, using that back cushion for positional play.
30. $31.
Well, I'm sure that boxing fans would have watched Floyd Mayweather last night winning a very, very close fight where they keep kind of punching and counter-punching. This is one of those matches, Ken, isn't it? Whatever somebody throws at somebody, somebody comes back at him.
39.
Yeah, it's great stuff, isn't it? Gonna need one good split on the reds. Possible break on 145. Ronnie won't be worried about that just yet. He wants to win the frame in this position first. He needs one good split just to get ready for the counter-attack, and that looks okay as long as he's not too straight on this red
46.
into the right centre. Does he have an angle to get up top side of the blue? Cued it nicely, and that's perfect. It's a wonderful camera angle.
$52.
Just looking to see if we can get through the gap of these two reds, because it'll certainly be the easier of the reds, but as you can see there, it's tight. Have a look at this little picture here. It's very, very tight. I thought he'd be playing that red because he's got a little bit of work to do with this cue ball. Just send it around the back of the red.
53.
And the reason it's a little bit of work, it was easy to overscrew that. As it happens, because that's the perfect angle to kiss onto the red next to the pink. Well, he's playing a hold it, but that's still the same thing. He just played up into that area. Beautiful break this, Ken, isn't it?
Yes, he's been absolutely inch
60.
perfect. Average frame time, less than 15 minutes.
61.
The middle pocket.
68. $69.
The round of applause from this knowledgeable, crucible audience tells you that Ronnie O'Sullivan is just past the snooker's required stage now. How big can this century be? 133, the last frame from Barry Hawkins, the biggest of the match so far. This could be eclipsed in about 3 or 4 minutes'
75.
time.
Possible 141, but he'd be taking the pink, so possible 140.
81. 82. 89. 90.
There you see it, 8 blacks, 1 pink, 3 blues. This has been absolutely top quality stuff.
Hold on. 97. 98.
'Great cheer from the Crucible crowd. Ronnie's 10th century at this tournament so far.
Well, what a shame he didn't eclipse the previous break of 1-3-3, but Barry Hawkins missed one long shot. It cost him the frame. The standard is superb. It's Sullivan now leading 8-7.
Like Brazil used to play football. You score 3, I'll happily score 4.
Yes, I mean, if you did make the analogy with a boxer, you'd have an iron chin. Yeah, he really looks like he can soak up some punishment.
OK, back we go.
Yes, and just as you join us, Barry's let that one a little bit short, and for Sullivan, you would have to say a straightforward opener here into this bottom left-hand corner pocket. Well, he's missed one.
Well, that's about as far as Barry's missed a pot by in this match. Apart from the very first frame, when he missed a couple when it was a settling down period. Since then, he's been very proficient at that distance. Luckily for him, though, he hasn't left anything easy. Didn't play the double, but he's just concentrating on the white.
Yeah, would have loved that red to stay closer to this bottom left-hand corner pocket, because that would have created a bigger problem for Barry Hawkins with a safety shot here. First glance, it looks like he's got away with that.
That's one thing that Ronnie's always been brilliant at. Ken, obviously you've known him and played against him many times over the last few years. He never wants to show if somebody has a run of the ball. He never kind of holds his hand in the air or shakes his head. I mean, Barry's been lucky on the last two shots he's played. He's been very lucky not to have left a pot. Ronnie never even showed any emotion whatsoever.
It's part of the game, isn't it? He gets it out of his head straight away. Yeah, I think he knows the value of not really worrying about it, because it can only affect you. Nothing you can do about it once the shot is played. No point in keeping it with you. You never used to shake your head, Willie, did you?
Not quite as much as Parrot. That's 3 shots he's got away with, because obviously if that cue ball had gone into the ball carrier, the red would have come further across. So he's missed it the last 3 safety shots and got away with every one. So that's, if anything needs to give you confidence, it's something like that. All of a sudden, Ronnie, as you can see, is very disappointed not to got the cue ball back to Borg. So Barry may take this long one on. You can screw back up for probably the green or brown if he wants to do that. There's a couple of easier safety shots on, but he's in an aggressive mood, Barry. I wouldn't blame him for taking this on and screwing back into Borg. Doesn't appear to like it though. But he's got to get that cue ball past the baulk line. He hasn't done on the previous 3 occasions. Well, I don't know whether he looked at that plan. If he did, and it was a certainty, why not play for a colour?
Yeah, and it's just gone a little bit close to this ball cushion as we watch this plant go in once more. A couple more inches closer to the green, and he probably would have taken this brown on into the left centre.
I can only presume Kenny didn't even know the plant was on, because it looked like it was almost a certainty, didn't it? And he's played it as, you know, to get a good white.
Yes, I didn't see him come down the table. Normally when you have a look at these, it wasn't dead set, was it?
That was the pleasure of Hawkeye, showing you exactly as the balls were there. We couldn't have shown you that picture without Hawkeye. And there's a mistake from Ronnie. This time he will take the long one on.
Red doesn't cut to the right centre, so he's taking it into the corner pocket. Not so much pressure on this, he won't be leaving anything should he miss, only the red. Purposely left it close to the... Be very difficult.
Well, Barry's played more poor safety shots in this one frame than he has done virtually since the opening frame of the match. But once again, nothing easy for Ronnie here. Far too thick, this mistake with this safety shot. When you consider he's trying to get the cue ball back into baulk, okay, without kissing the red, it would only just gone past the blue spot. Once again, Sullivan was sent in danger in the previous frame. He made 103. Barry can only smile, knowing that he's just played a couple of loose ones in the last couple of frames.
Straight away, attacking the red just above the black to free up that black straight away. I'm not quite sure whether he has the perfect angle to stay in the black here. I have to go back up for blue.
7.
Yeah, would have loved to be in straighter on that red. He's going to need another good positional shot here. right-hand side cushion, just making this a little more awkward. Well, just needed to just miss that middle pocket.
11.
Yeah, here we see it. Just needed to miss that, hit the cushion first and then skip by that middle pocket. But he's been very disciplined, trying to keep the pressure on Barry Hawkins.
Ronnie Sullivan, 11.
He won't be too happy with that safety shot. Wanted it behind the green and close to the ball cushion.
You can see him bemoaning in the safety shot, suggesting once again the table was playing a little slower than he expected, but having commentated on all the tournament, the table looks to be the same speed as the other two, but obviously Ronnie's out there, he would know exactly what's happening. Clearly there, made sure he hit the safety shot a little bit harder, and unfortunately for him, it stuck it right over the corner, albeit dead straight. Now, Barry has not potted one of these long straight ones for 2 or 3 shots. This is a tough one. Yes, always missable those. Always missable. Just lost his way for a second. Having made 1-3-3, Ken, you thought he'd really got a foothold in this final and a chance to put Ronnie under pressure, and he just hasn't done it the last frame and a half.
He's normally so good at that shot. He stays so still, but you saw from his back arm just a little bit of movement there, and that's why he's trying to put a bit more pace into the cue ball, just to bring it back a couple of inches to be high on the black.
One.
Just have a look at his back arm there. Yeah, you just see the little bit of movement, and that's why he's just come across the cue ball. And that's why he subsequently missed that red. Another excellent opportunity
6.
now for Ronnie.
Seven.
And this is where
14.
Ronnie is really good. Puts the heat on his opponent.
15.
And once he gets his nose in front, a couple of frames, he's very, very difficult to stop.
22. 23. 30.
One that's just slightly got away. Is he on this red? It's very close. Great shot.
31.
Excellent shot, but again, short of pace on the blue. Gonna need another good shot here to get back on one of these loose reds. It's not bad.
37.
Not absolutely perfect. Now you see he's a bit straight on this black. Needs a lot of power again. Needs to slow up. Just.
44. 45.
Everything's going into the heart of the pocket at the moment.
Barry Hawkins posed
50.
a few questions when he made that wonderful century break. Well, Ronnie, at the
53.
moment, is coming back with the answers.
Yes, Barry went in front 3-2, and Ronnie made breaks of 76, 113 and 100 in about half an hour. Barry just showed signs again. He was getting control with 83 and 33.
60.
Ronnie all of a sudden is going to be streaking 2 frames clear again. But
61.
remember, there's 9 frames this evening. This is not the last frame. There's one more to go. And it'll be interesting to see what will happen. Of course, Ronnie could be taking a 3-frame lead into tomorrow's afternoon session.
67. 68.
And you see the break. 6 blacks, 1 pink, 2 blues. This has been superb because he's had to go in and out of balk.
75.
He's had to pull out a couple of tough pots and tough positional
76.
shots. But he's kept the break going wonderfully. And at the moment, he's just moving through the gears.
83.
Still a few sighs and moans and groans. He's still not completely happy. But at the moment, everything he's looking at is going into the pocket.
84. '86. 88.
Well, this has been an incredible standard so far. This is going to be 3 centuries in a row.
91.
And there's a little exhibition shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
95.
Century number 52 of this year's World
100.
Championship. Number 11 for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
106.
Well, he misses the black, but he
106
won't
on the
be
frame.
bothered.
This is the last frame of the day. Back we go.
Well, he has got that draw in the session, of course, already, because they've played 8 frames, and it's 4 each. But it's amazing, really, having seen Barry make the 1-3-3. The very next frame, he had a long pot, which is one he's been knocking in for the last 10 or so frames, and he missed that one. Ronnie pounced with that 103, and then a couple of poor safety shots in that frame, and Ronnie once again made him what, in my opinion, was the best break of the match so far, 106, and he was in and out of balk and had to play cannons. It was a really good break. It was a really tough break, and that was probably one of the best breaks in the match. Now, well, Barry Hawkins going to tomorrow afternoon session, 1 down or 3.
Foul. And a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan for. Yeah. How's that, Barry?
Yeah, Barry again.
Bring it up.
Just trying to get the outside edge of this red. It's a tough shot. And there is the red down the right-hand side of the table. Both players are having a look at, and the referee
But it'll
having a
just
look at
be
the monitor.
fraction then.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Thought it was about a ball and a half. No. No, it was about a ball and a half.
Yeah, Ronnie's saying it's a little bit tighter, but that's
I had a
pretty
look from the
close.
side and it was about a ball and a half, so it might be a little bit closer. You happy with that? Yeah. Ronnie? Thank you.
He's got to be careful here. If he misses it this time, he'll be warned. He's missed it. So now that puts a bit more
Foul.
pressure on this shot.
Ronnie
And that's
O'Sullivan.
why he's coming down the end of the table, because he's definitely going to be hitting this ball. almost half ball. He's going to try and leave the cue ball. There you see Bahas's warning Barry Hawkins. He must hit a red, because if he doesn't hit a red this time, he will lose the frame. And that's why he's reluctant to play this shot, because he wanted to try and leave the cue ball and the red almost straight, and he hasn't. He's left a slight angle. But these, as we've seen before, are very, very difficult down the rails, and that's why Ronnie, I don't blame him for this, refusing the shot, because not only refusing the shot, but keeping Barry Hawkins under a little bit of pressure. Absolute safety.
I think he would end in the last frame of the night, and he realises the importance of either taking a 3-frame lead or a 1-frame lead. He would have took that red on. But he's such a good thinker under pressure. He knew that it was missable and decided to play safety.
This looks very short, and he may be leaving a red into the right centre. This is quite a long way short. Red into the top corner, green pocket, but also the red that's on the pink spot goes into the right centre, and this will certainly open things up if Ronnie gets this.
This looks like he's probably screwing back on and off the cushion for the black, or he's played a little cannon for the pink. Not ideal. The 3 reds above the black. I think only the middle one pots in the corner. I'm not sure whether the bottom one does. So whatever cannon he has, he's got to get it just right. And that hasn't turned out okay, unless there's a plant. There's one available in the middle of hampered queuing. The plant's obviously not a certainty. I was surprised he played for the pink on the previous red, to be honest, but Ronnie is a genius, so I'm sure he'll dig his way out of it somehow. Well, I don't know about you, Ken. That's the farthest I've seen Ronnie miss a putt like that, and he can't believe it, can he? I mean, he's been doctoring his tip all the way through this match, and having made kind of 4 centuries, there's not a lot wrong with his tip, surely. But he gave it a real good sing to before this frame started, and maybe that softened it up a little bit. But I've never seen him miss a putt by that far. This is the chance to win the session 5-4 and close within 1. And that would be a tremendous performance on the first day of your first ever World Championship final.
Yeah, he just had a quick look at the couple of reds below the pink. Will pot into this bottom right hand corner pocket. A little bit short of pace, but still okay. He can
6.
Stay on the black here. Ooh. First sign of pressure from both players now.
Barry Hawkins 6.
I think both of them realise the importance of this frame, Willie.
It's so hard to understand, isn't it? They've both been in absolutely super form. But, you know, for Barry's confidence, obviously, to close within 1 would be an amazing feat, the way that Ronnie's played. And I'm afraid that was a twitch. That wasn't anything other than bad alignment, and probably just snatched a little bit at it. I didn't expect him to miss that one. But it hasn't done any damage. One thing that has impressed me, I mean, I don't think I've seen Ronnie play better safety than when he was with Ray Reardon. I don't know what year that was, when he won the championship when he was working with Ray Reardon, but that's the best safety Ronnie's ever played in a final at the Crucible, but this is a very, very close second. Believe it or not, that must have been a pot. Once again, hasn't left anything straightforward. He can get to the red that's to the right of the blue, but he's not playing that, so just another safety. And once again, you can see the way Ronnie's looking around the table to see where the white's finishing. Usually when he's not feeling good with himself, he just, okay, he's a brilliant safety player, but he knows where the ball's going to go, but he's actually interested to see where it finishes. He's really digging deep in this, what is the final frame of the evening session. And Barry at the minute is telephoning his shots in.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
He might as well be in the telephone box saying, I want to play that one, because he's struggling at the minute.
Yeah, he's just gone completely off the boil. Well, we've had 3 centuries in a row. It's nice to see that both guys are still human after all, Willie. And I think both of them realised the importance of this last frame.
That's amazing, isn't it? The last 4 shots he's played, he's hardly hit the right side of the ball.
Yeah, he seemed to rush into that pot a little bit.
What a great picture of that. The almost the wonder of why it's going wrong all of a sudden. Ronnie's not pleased with that one.
1.
Well, if Barry gets a chance to win the frame, and he does do, he'll forget about all those last few shots, but he goes to bed having missed all those shots. He'll be suddenly thinking, what's going on? What a good recovery this is. Needed a little flick on the red, didn't get it.
6.
You can almost see Ronnie thinking, well, do I take this on or not? Because I've got Barry at the minute struggling. If he misses it, he knows he'll stick it up.
I wonder will he play the double here. Try and stay on the green there. Brown.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 6.
Barry's got the same choice. There is a long pot on, but the way he's queuing at the moment, I'd suggest leaving it alone. Just looking if he puts the cue ball somewhere where it is now, he'll get Ronnie in trouble. Needs the red somewhere near where the red is on the blue spot. That'll be pretty helpful. Well, certainly in the middle of the table. I don't know whether he played the double or not, but he's not played it as he wanted. Look where the cue ball is.
Yes, and what's worse, he's left those couple of reds on the pink spot, the bottom one of the 2 pots in here, so free shot here for Ronnie. Must be close, if not in. Yeah.
And that would be very disappointing from Barry Hawkins' point of view.
Should never have been on that red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
It almost rolled off.
I think Ronnie suggested it did. Well, it looked like he was hitting full ball can, didn't it? And definitely swung a little bit.
Almost missed it, didn't he?
Yes, if the green had been on its own spot at that speed, he probably would have missed it. And Barry's going to have to play a good safety. I think he can see the edge of this ball.
Sorry, Barry.
Yeah, my hand's
Okay,
just...
that'll do. Thank you, thank you.
Clever shot, that. Say clever shot, he'd have liked to have screwed it back another foot, but at least it's got the cue ball back in baulk. At this moment in time, you can't see Barry winning this safety battle, but that's what he's going to have to do to get back into this frame. He trails by 25 points. But such is Ronnie's safety in this last frame. Every time Barry comes to the table, he's got a difficult safety shot to reply. Trying to take the white over the pink spot and back into the baulk area, off the red to the right of the blue there. But he's got to hit it exactly right.
Yeah, something like that. The red that's closest to the right middle, of course, he's got to come off that perfectly, miss the reds below the pink spot and then back up somewhere behind the green, but he must hit it perfect. Pretty tough shot.
That was the shot I fancied him playing, Ken, but he looks of trying to find an alternative if he doesn't think that's on, but it looks on from our commentary position. Maybe he's worried about kissing the blue on the way back. So he's not playing the shot we've suggested. He wouldn't have played this shot either if the black would have been available, so that's quite a clever shot really, with the black being out of commission.
Yeah, but he may find himself down in that position once more. It's a decent safety shot, but the problem is you just hand the initiative into your opponent's corner. Ronnie would love to. He's looking down behind the yellow, but he'd love to get down behind the brown, somewhere close to where the cue ball was before. You can come off the red that's closest to the right hand side cushion, just clip off that up the right hand side of the table. But he wants to try and keep that red as tight to that cushion as possible, because that creates problems for Barry Hawkins. And that's why he's tried to put another red safe, because he's sort of nursing that 24-point lead. That's pretty good from there.
And the perfect weight, because the red just above the pink will cut into the corner. And he's purposely got it perfect weight to leave that not on. Use that cue ball to slow down. There's a couple of reds Ronnie can take on here and get the cue ball back into the baulk area.
Yeah, red next to the pink pots. Up behind the green with the cue ball. Well, he's left Barry now a half chance.
Well, his facial expressions are showing you, when you consider he's played that white into baulk again there. Obviously he's played the pot, but he's completely mistiming things at the minute. Ronnie's pace of the table at the moment is pretty good, but left a long one on this time, and there's just about enough room around the back of the black, but once again he's not cued well in the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, this is going to be a real test, isn't it? He's got to stay absolutely still on this shot. Bit of pressure on this one. Well played. Excellent pot.
Well, having seen the previous 4 or 5 safety shots he's played, that is up there with one of the best shots he's played tonight under pressure.
Three.
4.
Needs to get top side of the blue. The two reds that are above the black there, the two reds farthest away, are they both pot in the left-hand corner, but he'd love to get onto the middle red of the 3 that's just below the black, and then he can play that little cannon onto that red. Now, whoa, how's the angle? Unfortunately for him, no good, it's straight. Just 2 inches difference without making it a chance to win the frame there.
10.
And cue that very, very well. Perfect angle on the pink. Those 2 reds below the pink. Certainly the bottom one does pot.
$16.
We saw Ronnie Sullivan a couple of shots ago clip one of those reds onto the right hand side cushion. That may come to his rescue later on in this break. Barry is going to need those 2 reds if he's going to go and win the frame from this position.
17. $22.
Might be worth playing this screw shot hard here, because the other red could kiss the other red away from the black. I thought he was playing the top red there. He may have missed a trick there. He could have played the screw off that top red, because until he gets rid of that red, it's not a frame winner. If he played the top red and screwed off it and gone up for blue or pink, he'd have freed the red and black. So this time he has to get the angle right. And with the angle he has on the pink, there's every chance he could do just that. How's the angle this time? Amazingly enough, this is the longest frame
29.
of the match so far, the first frame over 20 minutes. But there's a bit of tension in this frame. And once again, you see, he's played such a poor shot getting on that red. He was perfect on the pink, so he should have got the angle.
Well, he tried to bring the red and black into play there, but
36.
full of contact on that black. This is not easy. Back into a blind pocket. Well played. How's your position?
37.
Not great, but has he got an angle? I'm potting this blue to try and bring another red into play. Well, I'm surprised he hit it so softly. Made sure of the pot,
42.
of course, but he could have used a little bit more pace there, being a little bit more aggressive, and tried to bring this red a little bit more open into the table.
Yeah, the fact that he's 17 in front, he'll try and pot this red, but I wouldn't have thought he'd try and bring the other red into play, because it's missable, this red, but he is trying to do that. It was very dangerous to do that, but the red has not
Barry
been brought
Hawkins,
into play.
42.
There's one thing for certain, if Barry Hawkins can come out of this session at 9-8, I mean, he'll certainly sleep better than Ronnie. I mean, he's played brilliantly, really. 4 centuries, a couple of other sizable breaks, and there's a possibility he could only lead 9-8. So Barry Hawkins will definitely be the more pleased of the two if he could just win this last frame. Well, the only way to make this last red easy is to play for the black, but he's stunning it in.
7.
So perfect He's trying to leave an angle on the pink, and he hasn't done that. So he's going to have to play the blue now with a lot of side and try and rest the cue ball in between pink and black. So this will be a positional shot to play. And if you're not pleased with the table, you know, doesn't fancy it, so he's only going to be playing a safety shot after this pink. He's trying his heart out, isn't he, to win this last frame.
13. Ronnie Sullivan.
No, he's played that
13.
very, very well indeed. Excellent shot. The fact that the red has come away from the ball cushion as well just makes this a little bit more difficult. Of course, the age-old problem, not hitting the red, getting it safe. Yeah, there was just enough room, and he's going to leave a free ball, and
Miss.
this could be crucial. He's got the pink as a free ball, and that's an absolute disaster for Barry Hawkins there. Not quite sure why he had to play it so pacey.
Pink ball.
Needs an angle on this pink. Doesn't want it to be dead straight.
1.
Maybe just okay. Yeah, he's got a slight angle just to screw back. Miss the middle pocket where he's going to be cueing. Avoid the kiss on the brown. Watch the cue ball here. He's got to miss that brown. Great shot. It's not too bad. Maybe he's happy with that.
7.
He can't hit it slow enough to get onto the pink, so may decide to come all around the back of the pink and get onto pink or blue. If he plays it slowly, he could get onto the pink, but he's going to be virtually straight on the pink if he plays it slow. Decided to risk playing a slow shot, but as I said, he's going to be virtually straight on this pink. I didn't see the value of playing for the pink there at all.
8.
Bemused. Trying to get the cue ball just 3 or 4 inches to the right of the black. Oh, listen, has he played that?
Well, you won't see many better safety shots than that. Played to perfection.
Well, as JV always says, it's not hitting them, it's getting them safe. He's hit it. Has he got it safe? Has he got it safe? He needs to pull up. Oh, we haven't seen Ronnie play too many of these deep screw shots. Judd Trump would love this shot, wouldn't he? But how's Ronnie going to play it? Well, he decided not to screw back, but to run through.
2.
Almost perfect, but the green doesn't look on.
Yeah, he hasn't had a look at the score, but this green is very important. He didn't go for that. He was trying to get a snooker behind the pink and black, and he may have played another absolute... What a shot he's played there.
Sullivan 2.
Yeah, a lot of who's and ahs in the crowd, but he didn't play the pot there. And that's a fantastic snooker.
Oh, no wonder Barry's scratching his head. I mean, goodness me. We've seen two of the best safety shots we've seen in the whole tournament in the last 10 minutes. This is by far and away the longest frame, coming up to 28 minutes. But in some ways, it's been the most exciting.
Well, would you believe it?
3.
Well, it's Barry's turn to try and get the cue ball. His target would be to kiss the black, so he can play twice across. The brown's going to be naturally safe. It's just a case of missing the blue. He's got to miss the blue by an absolute fraction to get this shot right. Yeah, I'm not too sure it was on because the blue was in the way. But it's got plenty of distance between cue ball and object ball. There's only 7 points in it. This is cuttable, but I'm not too sure he can hold for the blue. Is it there again for the third time in this frame? Is it there again for the third time in this frame? Wow, good effort. Good effort.
Well, is there a gap? Can he see this brown and even pot it? This would be unbelievable.
What a shot. He just had enough gap.
4.
He has a quick look at the scores. He's 11 ahead. He just needs the blue.
Yes, a massive 4 points that for Ronnie, because obviously Barry needs the 3 balls. So even if he leaves this blue on, he's going to have to play a good shot to get the angle on the pink to be able to get on the black. So it was a massive 4 points that was. Brilliant shot on the brown. Oh, the little tinker's trying to knock the pink safe, but he's not even hard
Sullivan
enough.
4.
Well, would he play the slow roll, try and drop this blue into the corner pocket? He could try and play the snooker, of course, as well, but would he try and take this blue on? Decisions.
Well, he did play it, Ken, but you know what's going to happen here. The white will be kissing the black and he'll be behind the pink again. Oh, he's underhit this. Oh, that was careless for Ronnie. This is cuttable in the middle. So much margin of error there, Ken, didn't he? The fact that the black was where it was, he could just play the cannon on the black. It was bound over the snooker.
Yeah, he just got too much side, but as you said, this blue was cuttable. Definitely worth having a go at this.
It's a tough safety shot, isn't it, to play it any other way?
Well, if he plays it hard, cue ball will definitely be coming down close to the pink, so as long as he doesn't undercut it. If he undercuts it, he'll definitely leave it up. If he overcuts it, he may still come out safe.
Good thinking. How's the cue ball? He needs it to bounce about 8 or 9 inches so he can get onto the black. Oh, it's tough. The pink he can pot, the black probably not. Well, there's Barry's friends and family, mother, father, sister. They've got their fingers crossed here because this is a huge frame. The pink's there.
11.
Well, it's decision time. Do you play the cutter on the cushion, or do you play the guaranteed safety shot?
Quietly, please.
It's a safety.
Oh, he's overhit it.
Barry Hawkins,
He's
11.
overhit it.
The crowd knew it straight away. Ronnie knew it straight away.
He was up out of that chair
Right,
so
settle down,
quick.
please. Thank you.
Black for the frame.
Seven and a frame.
Well, what a tremendous start, what a tremendous frame. Both players have been very pleased with a night's
Great game,
work.
guys. Thank
The
you.
crowd standing ovation for these two great players. They've treated us some fantastic snooker, but it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who takes a 3-frame lead into March.